And they've got one of the best freshmen in this incoming class. Would have been top 25, didn't play his final year of high school in the United States, coming out of Canada, and has taken college basketball by storm.
Yeah, Mike, you established the names we do know and the coaches, but this is a name you need to get to know. The 6'4" freshman guard, big, strong, likes to play downhill, wildly athletic, volume shooter and scorer.
As Romello White, the redshirt sophomore, and Abdul Adu, also a redshirt sophomore, tip it up, and the ball belongs to Lamar Peters and the Bulldogs, number 15 team in the country. Quindary Weatherspoon for three, offensive board, grabbed by Eric Holman. It's a jump ball.
It's an all-out battle to win those 50-50 basketballs.
Cheatham gives it up for Dort, their leading scorer, 22 points a game. Martin drops it off on the bounce, and the fadeaway try drops in for Kamani Lawrence.
Talk about that length at 6'7", the sophomore. 10 minutes per game last year, a massive role for this team this season, and he's provided early on, attacking the rim where he's at his best. Immediately, not waiting to work that shot clock down, really trying to apply pressure on this Bulldogs defense.
Mississippi State with wins against Austin Peay. Kobe White of North Carolina has gotten a lot of attention for his hair, but let's throw Martin's name into the mix as well for one of the best hairstyles in college basketball. Peters, how about that agility to get to the rim?
But the lucky lefty, explosive with that first dribble, propelling him to the rim.
There's Dort, the guard, built like a linebacker. Too much off glass. Cheatham.
Again, it's going to be those 50-50 basketballs, Mike. When they come off, who can control them? Who can possess them? Second chance. It's going to be a storyline this evening.
Weatherspoon gets a lot of contact. Offensive board for Adu. Nick Weatherspoon in the ESPN 100 a couple of years ago in the class of 2017.
Oxygen. Explosion right here. Peters wells the defense to sleep, finds that driving lane, and if you're not in low position defensively to guard, don't worry about his height. Size don't matter, Mississippi State.
They jumped 2 spots in the AP poll coming out earlier today, going from number 17 to number 15. Team last year that was 25-12 and made it to the semifinals of the NIT.
Beautiful help side defense there from Arizona State, taking away driving lanes despite being challenged.
White got in front, and in transition, Sun Devils coughed it up, and Dort gets called for his first foul. The freshman from Montreal scored 53 points over the first 2 games, third most by a Pac-12 freshman in that type of time span since the 96-97 season.
And a chance to talk to Coach Howland about that young man right there, Luguentz Dort. And Coach Howland, has coached a lot of guys. And he said he reminded him of Drew Holiday, one of his old UCLA products. Said what Dort can do with the basketball is magical.
Short. Holman.
Good movement from Arizona State. Perpetual movement, challenging that defense to guard and keep with them. That team can match up with either of these teams very nicely. So that's going to be a competitive game, and with how the Aggies look and the energy they brought, it could be any man's game.
From way outside for Peters, that was a few feet beyond where the NBA arc would be, and it was with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Not the best look. Dort goes strong to the basket. Cheatham chases it down, didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock continues to dwindle to 10. Part of the toughest part about this tournament, not only the great field, but also if you continue to win, it's 3 games in 3 days. You don't see that, as Coach K pointed out earlier this week, at any other point during the season.
Gives you an opportunity to do the work early on.
Transfer from Cleveland State, who's been battling an injured back and didn't travel with the team on this trip as he tries to rehab that. Cheatham with a high arcing shot. Came down short and into the hands of Holman.
Mississippi State doing the job defensively. Taking away driving lanes. Make them beat you from the outside.
Quindary Weatherspoon for 3.
They've been settling offensively for the long ball. In rhythm, the defense not settled, not waiting for it to congeal. You get the 3-point look.
Bulldogs have scored 9 straight. Weatherspoon locked up Dort. He kicks to the corner at the other end. The drive nearly yielded a pair for Tyson Carter. Cheatham sees the open lane. Peters wants 3.
You might ask, well, who does that benefit if they're letting it play? Neither team, both incredibly physical. And Mike, I know you lack this, but Mississippi State finding some rhythm. That's right, rhythm with the 3 ball. Quindary Weatherspoon.
Wait for the dessert table to come around. Dort's still looking to get going. He's 0 for 3.
They're throwing healthy double teams at him, trying to run him off as a handler.
Looking to make other people be scorers.
Created the advantage for DeQuan Lake.
Martin so far has looked much more to be a distributor than he has a scorer. Dort wants his first points.
Cream rise to the top. Tough shot from Dort.
Here comes Dort with a full head of steam. He bounced around to a couple different high schools throughout his career. Arlington Country Day in Jacksonville, Florida, Conrad Academy in Orlando, and then finished up at Athlete Institute in Ontario. No matter where he's gone, though, he has always had this extremely muscular physique.
Yeah, and that's what sets him apart from a lot of guards on the perimeter, is that physicality, and that's what's been really embraced with this freshman class. That's what Agent Zero for Arizona State brings in Dort, a physicality that allows him to attack the rim, but also the finesse and skill set to beat you with the long ball.
ESPN's national recruiting director, Paul Biancardi, said even though Dort wasn't a high school senior in the United States, so he couldn't be ranked within the ESPN 100, limited only to the 50 states, he would have been a top 25 player had he stayed in the U.S. to finish off high school.
Once you give the dribbler momentum going to the rim, especially a 6'4" physical guard like Dort, you've lost the battle.
Offensive board for Lake.
That's your point guard mixing it up in there amongst the trees with the rebound. This is where fatigue sets in defensively. You've got to guard, get a stop, guard some more. Advantage offense.
Dort with a nice drop off for Lake, slams it home.
With only 2 guys, you can do some of that stuff. So for instance, on the screen, we'll have live up to the second odds that you can get on your MGM account and make live wagers. That'll be part of it. In the match, we'll have some challenges amongst us, and you'll see some smack talk that you don't normally see in golf. I'm passive aggressive as well, so it's subtle.
Bigger question, Phil. What's your hoops game like?
That's a bold claim right now.
Hey.
You know, it doesn't happen very often, but this is one of those standout years that it very well could.
Zylan Williamson.
And when that happens, there's only a few games that they're going to be challenged.
College coach, yeah,
you sound like perhaps you've taken some keys from Coach K. So you're here Monday night. What does the rest of the week look like for you leading up to the event later this week?
And so we'll play 4 or 5 holes with full-on production, drones. We're going to have drones from all over. And we'll do some other interviews, press conference, whatnot. Wednesday will be a day where we just work on our game, make sure we're sharp. Same with Thursday on Thanksgiving, and then Friday's the match.
Phil, pump your Instagram before you go.
It's actually been pretty fun to start. I started Twitter a couple months ago, and that's been a fun challenge too.
It's an entirely positive medium, Twitter. Everyone is so nice on there, I'm sure, as you found.
I actually don't mind it. I think that when you get to a situation where, is it bad to openly root during while we're talking? Is that a bad thing?
It's bad for us. It's okay.
It's okay
you.
for me.
Yes.
When you get to a certain position, and I pull for the Chargers, and I say, "Oh, come on, Rivers." I don't mean that personally. I mean that kind of like in general, and you start to take things non-personal when that happens. So I understand that I'm more of an object to be discussed rather than my feelings. So if people want to knock me on Twitter or whatever, it doesn't really bother me. So I'm kind of past that point about 10, 12 years ago where I just don't care.
That's a great perspective. Well, we appreciate you joining us. I know Coach Hurley and the Sun Devils appreciate having you here. And
bold ones, albeit about Duke. He was cheering on his Sun Devils as we went. I think we ran a gamut there with Phil.
Weren't you also making the undefeated prediction earlier today?
I didn't want to say it. It was about Phil, but he got the co-signature here from me. Absolutely.
Here comes Dort on the breakaway. Off to the short corner. Taken away from Cheatham. In overtime against Cal State, Fullerton, McNeese State, and Long Beach State. And they were scheduled to have a game on Friday to go play the Dons of San Francisco, but due to air quality concerns there in the area, that game ended up getting canceled. Cherry works from the wing. Cheatham, the native of Phoenix, so this is a homecoming for him to dress for the Sun Devils. Transfer from San Diego State, and as Bobby Hurley tells the story, Cheatham saw the style of play that he had brought to the Sun Devils and said, that's something I want to be a part of. So he sat out last year as he transferred after averaging 9 and 6 in his final year there for Steve Fisher, and now is an integral part as a starter for a so far undefeated Arizona State squad.
And he's one of the old guys on a very young team, so he's one of the voices that they look to during turbulent times.
And 46th ranked player in this year's incoming freshman class. That's a guy like Dort, wow, who gets to the rim. Both those guys. Let's get to know Mississippi State freshman Robert Woodard, or should we say, Dr. Dre.
I mean, it is a striking resemblance. That's a doppelganger for sure. They forgot about Dre, but no, we haven't here at ESPN. I want some of that Beats money, Mr. Woodard.
In the ESPN 100, a 7'1" wingspan.
Okay, well, if you're going to mention Dr. Dre, another star for this team, a swing forward at 6'10", that's Snoop Dogg and Eric Holman. If we're going to go that way, I mean, let's go all the way that way. There you go. Dropping government names. All right, Mike. You got street cred with me.
One of the famous Snoop Dogg on ESPN moments actually happened here in Las Vegas back in 2014.
Talk about winning this thing in the paint. You're going to need that body.
Holman had the right idea. Impressive in year number 2 under Will Wade. Cherry for 3. Claims just the front iron.
And defensively, you've got the drive from Quindary Weatherspoon. Bodies protecting the rim, extreme length and athleticism with Arizona State. Nothing easy at the rim for either team.
And we talked about the potential good news for Memphis. They're one of the finalist 5 schools for the #1 player in this year's senior class, James Wiseman, who's going to make his college decision tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Dort gets one off the backboard, but maybe that can get him going in this one. Little zone show almost here, it appears, in Arizona State. Moving into that 2-3. When you talk about length, it can erase a lot of mistakes. Talk about impressive wingspans. So there's a head fake and a lean in.
So he earns himself a seat next to George Brooks, the fourth-year assistant on the bench with 3 fouls. And likely won't see him for the remaining 5 minutes and change of the first half.
You see this extended out 2-3 zone from Arizona State. Mississippi State must do exactly that. Peters aggressively driving into gaps. That's where you collapse that defense. Cannot allow driving lanes. You gotta hedge everything, push them out, make them shooters, not drivers. Arizona State getting everything, going downhill, attacking the rim. Again, that 2-3 zone, gotta establish Perry. Holman in the mid-post. That's where the defense is most vulnerable.
Oh, with the left hand, nicely done by the 6'10 senior.
And with the length.
Three no good for Lawrence. White with a fresh 30. Cheatham got it. Cheatham averaging 13 and 10 over the first 3 games for Arizona State, given that they'd already practiced earlier in the day. But the difference in energy between what the Sun Devils did yesterday and the Bulldogs was night and day, and yet it's Arizona State with the advantage.
Yeah, I love that Coach Hurley got his guys moving on the floor today. It gets you in that game mentality the day of the game. That's important. That's why they've come out ready to go. You hope that can help do the job on the backboard, a place where Arizona State has started to really establish themselves.
1 for 2 on that trip for White. ASU has scored 16 of the game's last 18 points. Woodard with strength
for the catch and finish, but it's the attention. Weatherspoon commanded and demanded on the dribble drive to allow for the easy 2.
Dort through a couple defenders, swatted away by Adu.
Here's Weatherspoon. You talk about commanding that defensive attention on the drive right here. Okay, charge. You got 1, 2, 3, even a fourth looking. Somebody's got to be open. Dump off, easy finish. All with the dribble drive, aggressively attacking, whether it be a man defense or a zone defense, showing from Arizona State. Beautiful outlet.
Martin, perhaps the fastest player on the floor. His dish is a two-handed dunk for Cheatham, wearing the headband like a halo after that. Weatherspoon off balance and off front iron. And 57% of its points from last year.
Transition, getting out and running, now switching defenses to really confuse the Bulldogs. How about Remy Martin, the speed and transition right here like a blur. And then brain freeze him with the hesitation, Slurpee, the dump off and the dunk finish. Zylan Cheatham, a next level athlete with a 2-hand dunk finish.
Cheatham goes up, he's got the headband on. He goes from Sun Devil to Sun Angel as it suddenly becomes a halo over his head. Peters behind the back, gets past Martin, kicks to the corner, Keyshawn Fizel. Peters thinking the contact would get him a whistle, it doesn't. Arizona State, led by freshman Luguentz Dort, putting on a show of physicality and shooting in the first half.
Showing his skill set in every facet. Can shoot it, put it on the deck, distribute, flat-out playmaker. But he's so athletic and yet physical. Goes up, misses, goes back and gets it amongst the trees. And then one more time for good measure. Yeah, he's good. He's also lucky. Off the glass for 3.
He's been playing at a high level like that for quite some time. Highest rated recruit at Arizona State since James Harden, the high school class of 2007. This year, a transfer at Minnesota. NCAA didn't grant his waiver, but had he been playing high school basketball as a senior in the U.S., would have been a top 25 player. Mississippi State inside, Eric Holman, the senior and preseason second team All-SEC, tries to get them back going.
And that is where they can get back into this game, establishing a low post presence. Arizona State.
Here's a fun matchup between Martin and Peters, one in white and two in maroon, two of the quicker guys on the floor. A dude tweaked his ankle in the first half, was quickly back to action. His rebound sets the stage here as he holds from 15 feet. Holman could shoot the three. Got it. Last year, he shot 44% from three, and all of a sudden, this game's back to 10. Motivation given in whatever form it came from Ben Howland at halftime.
But Coach Howland's only coached very physical, very tough teams. A set drawn up out of the timeout from Arizona State, can't convert. Coach Howland's teams have always been tough. They got to come out here and meet the toughness of Arizona State. Tough foul there. Yeah, the head fake gets Cheatham up, and Cheatham grabs at Holman, but it was almost like he was trying to bring him down to protect him.
Sure, the standard for flagrant one is either excessive or unnecessary contact, and you can certainly see how that plays into the equation there.
Yeah, absolutely. In a head fake, Holman got him in the air. Cheatham was just trying to protect both bodies after that from injury. And compete on the backboard, three things that were missing.
They missed Weatherspoon for about the last 5.5 minutes. Number 0, the younger Weatherspoon, Nick, because he had picked up his third foul, so they're happy to have him, a 10-point-a-night contributor, back onto the floor. His older brother, Quindary, kicks to the corner.
Going back to Nick Weatherspoon being out, Dort really benefited during that stretch, not having the defender on him, and it's been both brothers Weatherspoon guarding him. Now you move to Q since Nick's in foul trouble.
Cheatham started beyond his range and got walled up by Adu and Holman. Peters.
Whether it's getting all the way down to finishing or just in pursuit of early offense.
Go ahead. There you go. Good.
Great defense. Great defense. Stayed there patiently, Cheatham, the whole time. Didn't bite on any head fakes from the taller in the 6'10 Holman. Patiently awaited and created the turnover. Look, makes him meet the chest, meet the chest, meet the chest, pushed off, no advantage, hands up, turnover. Textbook, fundamentally sound defense.
Kamani Lawrence with the three-pointer. He's got 15, a game high. Weatherspoon with the answer. Holman turned away. Dort leads the Sun Devils break. Three-pointer, good for Dort.
Dort sold that one. Weatherspoon with the illegal screen. And it's what's been able for them to sustain the run for Mississippi State and respond.
Cheatham wants the high-low. Didn't have it, not great position for DeQuan Lake on the baseline. Nick Weatherspoon, the offensive board, finds his brother Quindary from the corner. Adu with a third try. Weatherspoon cashes it in.
Something they were devoid of in the first half.
Dort got a little bit of space. Not a great shooting night for him. He's just 3 of 11.
Three-point line be given to give the Bulldogs something here in the second stanza.
That's the look for Dort.
Driving pass, cutting lane finish. Jake Weatherspoon with a hot hand.
No good looks yet. Dort walls him off. The crossover shakes him. And the foul is on Dort. And on the backside of that play, Zylan Cheatham's going to say, hey, clip that, because I got a really nice block at the end of that, too, even though it didn't count.
No hand. No hand. No hand.
Here are the officials. No hands under the basket. They know it's high level between Cheatham and Holman.
That's a fun matchup to watch. 6'10 versus 6'8.
Lawrence cleared everything. Dort somehow gets it in his hands. Reverse layup, no. 3-on-1 break. It's Carter with 2.
Lessening the gap here.
What's happened different defensively where Arizona State hasn't been able to get those stops?
Mississippi State starting to pound it inside. 5-3, something they couldn't do in that first half. They've discovered here in the second.
Another look from 3. Out of bounds.
Forget reunion. The Kumbaya ain't playing for me over the holidays here.
NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern on ESPN, and on the ESPN app. You can take it with you wherever you go. Offensive foul on Dort.
Electing to use the bounce pass as opposed to the chest pass is what allows him to get that one off.
Dort's strength helps shake Quindary Weatherspoon out of the way. That'll be a big virtue for him, but as we saw with the offensive foul a couple trips ago down the floor, could also work against him.
As physical as he is, he has one gear. Like a bull in a china shop attacking the rim. He needs to learn that that defense is going to figure it out. Wait for him, and it's going to be a lot of charges coming his way. Change gears, finish at the rim, avoid violation.
Here comes Woodard with strength. Oh!
Perfect example of the lack of identifying when to change gears for Dort. How about a jump stop? A little mid-range finish. Not forcing it into the teeth of that long defense. And then on the other side, trickle-down effect. Easy 2. As gifted a star as he is right here. Stop on a dime. Don't come into that defense. Ado is 6'10". Pull up, hit it. It makes a less difficult offering. And then on the other end, that's a leak out for 2. 4-point swing because Dort can't identify changing gears.
Oh, look, a jump stop.
That was good gear. Tough defense down low.
Midway through the second half, winner goes on to face Utah State in the championship game on Wednesday night, 11 Eastern, here on ESPNU. Mike Cousins, former Notre Dame forward, Jordan Cornette with you here from T-Mobile Arena. Would make it a 1-possession game.
Weatherspoon got away with the travel.
From the corner, 3-pointer, no. Offensive board. Perry. Adu through 2 defenders.
To give Mississippi State balance, allowing them to get some easy 2s as well. Too much dribbling.
Dort into contact, gets it to go. In the last 12 minutes.
A lot of it's had to do with rebounding. Minus 15 in the first half for the Bulldogs. Plus 6 on the backboard here in the second half. So really working.
Dort is stripped. Weatherspoon takes a feed from behind and is swatted by Cheatham. Dort got caught out of position, and Holman throws it down on his head. Back-to-back possessions. Martin calls his own number. Taken away, Reggie Perry. Weatherspoon straight out, White the steal.
Knocks down the mid-range.
He's been such a great shooter over the course of his career. 72% coming into this tournament. Peters gets back iron. And the muscular Perry the board.
Arizona State can't be tentative. Yep. Zylan Cheatham wears 45, and you'll see him right here. And watch the impact he's going to have on this play. I said he wears 45. He returned like MJ coming back from baseball who wore 45 and blocks that shot. What effort. A little bit of Rosetta Stone, we call that. Defense translating into some offense.
Arizona State 61, Mississippi State 55. In the first half, the Sun Devils led by as many as 18 as the 15th ranked Bulldogs, up 2 spots in the poll today, have been hanging around all second half.
Dr. Dre returns to the game. Ooh, I'm sorry, Robert Woodard.
Martin has the ball in his hands a lot for the Sun Devils. Played with some great teammates in high school. Marvin Bagley III, Cody Riley, UCLA. And now here a top 25 caliber team as well.
Look at what Arizona State's been able to do here. Imagine if Rob Edwards was able to travel with this team. Did not travel due to a back issue. But what he would provide in scoring for this team. 16.5 points per game a year ago. They could have used his offense to really good. But Edwards probably would have been the focus of our offense.
In their Pac-12 tenure, which goes back to 1978. Couple last year at Kansas, number 2 at the time, against Xavier here in Las Vegas, and in 2015 against then 18th ranked Texas A&M, and looking to add a 4th non-conference top 25 win against number 15 Mississippi State. Now just 4 minutes away from making that reality. SEC first team with 8 players on it.
It's pretty nice. Again, here comes the drive. Got to identify you don't have it there, Dort. Got to kick it back out and run offense. Love the driving. Got to work with your teammates.
Peters nearly lost it. Holman's underneath. That's easy off the window.
Bulldogs have life.
Lawrence fades and scores. Makes it a 2-possession game again. Peters wasn't quite ready, backs it out. Holman from deep, clamoring to get back out on the floor and hoping to hold on to a 2-point lead. Our leading scorer, Luguentz Dort, not a great shooting night tonight. Just 6 for 17. Number 0, top of your screen in the corner. Martin off 1 foot, not a good look. Holman backing in. Now sends it out, just 7 to shoot for the speedy Peters.
Nothing.
He drives with the left. Ball out of bounds. It's been quite some time since Mississippi State has closed a deficit as big as they faced tonight and got a win. Dort coming in, almost out of control. Peters gets called for the foul. Luguentz Dort is the bus in the movie Speed. He just can't go under, what is it, 55 miles an hour, whatever it was.
He's your pro.
He draws multiple defenders, nearly lost it. Peters with a kick. Weatherspoon. Ten seconds to shoot. Martin on the drive, the kick, a Lawrence 3, he got it! Holman, a response. Dort soars in for the rebound. Martin gets them both. No timeouts for the Bulldogs. They need to score, and they need to do it fast.
That foul, 3-point shooter.
Peters is the fastest player they've got. Blocking foul.
One more look just to be certain. It might have been that final move where he led into him.
No timeout, so it's got to be either a turnover or an immediate foul.
Try and pursue that turnover the first second or two.
In for Dort.
No. That's the last thing you. Oh, man.
And that seals it.
Wow.